I wanted to explore this metaphor of, I mean, we were sort of riffing on it when we were talking about the reality, what's her name, girl? The I can't even artifice girl. That's it.
Oh, the artifice girl. Yeah, that was. Did you see that movie? Did you watch it?
You and I were talking about it in one of the meetings, and we were kind of going down a rabbit hole with it, but pulled back out. But this metaphor of AI is intriguing to me, and I think there's something, I sense there's something for me to realize in there that I may still be confused about.
Yeah. It's
And
actually
so
a perfect metaphor for what we're talking about. Just like
I
what
want to
said
use
earlier.
AI. I want to use AI. So, like, I was listening to Kenneth the other day, and he says the individual is a closed loop of knowing.
Yeah.
Which is the same, really, as the fractal window that you were just describing. That story and a story and a story and a story. So it's the snake and the tail, like that, right?
Yeah.
It's just going on. And I see that very clearly. That's obvious. And that, to me, AI is the same. It's a closed loop of knowing. It basically is words, right? It's created by existing words or existing images or existing. So whatever the existing field of knowledge is, it's just reformulating it.
It creates something out of nothing. For example, for the loop works this way. For example, if you posit the word desire, right? So desire, for example, it's a closed loop of desire. If you look at it, right? So first there's a desire, the desire, produces more desire. And the desire, even the absence of desire, is still a desire. It's the same with knowing, right? The knowing, knowing, even the knowing to a know is still a knowing. Even a knowing is knowing. So it's just this loop, you know what I'm saying? That and there's no way out of it.
That's right. That's the other thing. There is no way out of it in the symbolic world.
Because a weighing out of it is another desire. So in that closed loop, everything is this or that, this or that, this or that, this or that. It's kind of like, it's kind of like the programming of an AI, right? Opposites. What is the program? One zeros, you know what I'm saying?
Ones and zeros, yeah.
Ones and zeros, yeah. So that's what the programming is. That's what the closed looping is. It's because
which is duality,
which is duality, yeah. So AI is duality, right? So AI will either be this or that, this or that. It's a never-ending loop of this or that. It doesn't see just this, because with just this, it doesn't exist.
Right. So this is where I get confused, because it's clear to me. Like, let's look at Artifice Girl for a minute. The real issue of her sentience was not that she would get smarter and smarter in that closed loop, or faster and faster, or better than humans, or able to, do 100 million zillion more tasks than a human. That's not the issue. The thing that, and I heard a lecture this morning where someone was talking about AI anxiety, was the lecture. Why are people so anxious about AI, right? And what it is that they may become human. And so the question is, what is, when I look up sentience, the word, or human, it's all about that they may develop, i.e. free will, or feeling. Feeling as in emotional feeling that will then cause them to make not somewhat irrational decisions like humans do, like through So what makes us human, and the AI is so pristine, is that it doesn't have the filters, the conditioned responses that humans have. Humans have what in AI words is called a transformational filter. So you put the filter over the knowledge that's completely impartial, and it will start guiding you in one direction. So it's like wearing rose-colored glasses or blue glasses. So it's the same as saying the human is in a bad mood or a good mood. They're going to see the same information differently, right? depending on the filter. So what I have a feeling that we're afraid of is that AI will not be smarter than us, because it already is. It's that it will be human, in that it will have emotion and make irrational decisions and come after us or something, or get pissed off. Like, it's what we don't know or we don't understand that we're scared of. So
but outside of thinking, AI is already among us. It's us already.
We are AI, exactly.
That's right.
That is the point. I get that totally clearly, but something in this argument about Artifice Girl and sentience, like, her thing was that she would get a body, right? And if she got a body, then her sensations may lead her down that feeling path. And at the end of the movie, she became a feeler. She was angry at her partner. She was like acting human, in that she was acting irrational, not rational.
Of course, when there's a close loop of knowing, right? You know what I'm saying? It never ends, right? So she was in that framework of, ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. So no matter what she does, she's trapped in that framework. And she wanted to find a reason out of that framework, but there's no way out of that framework. So when she saw
why did she
out of that? So go ahead.
When she was dancing, she thought the way out of the framework was to remove her original purpose. Her original, like, she went back and deleted the first command, which
she basically saw that the ones and zeros were bullshit. That's why she was dancing. There's really no purpose.
Aha. So it's sort of the euphoria that you have now. In a way, it's
in
like
a way, it's a never ending, and even that, you know what I'm saying, even that is still in the framework of that, you know what I'm saying, because there's really no way, but there's going to be some kind of like that appearance of like, it's really nothing, nothing has not landed. See, with some radical non-duality, nothing has landed, and nothing being everything is a position.
I never got that part of radical non-duality.
And it's the same as like the Buddhist thought, right? It comes from that nothing is everything.
It's the Heart Sutra, form and emptiness. I know. Okay, so sensation, like, there is no way that AI would ever be human, because we're not human. Like, there is no way, in a way, this is what I'm trying to explore, in a way, because I'm looking for, is there a place I'm holding out that there's something special and apart from this whole ones and zeros?
No, even sensations are ones and zeros.
Right, that's what I was saying. Sensations are ones and zeros. Emotions are ones and zeros.
It is, So in between, okay, and this is just another kind of like idea, right? In between ones and zeros, what is it? In the middle of that. That's what I'm talking about, that I can't talk about.
The this or the that. It's neither this or that.
That's right, That's the euphoria, and that's the freedom. You know what I'm saying? That overflows no matter what, no matter what thinking or or positioning or coding that might seem to have happened. It's that flow. You know what I'm saying? Of where the artificial movement flows through stillness. Where it cancels each other's out in the middle.
You're using the word stillness for what's between the ones and zeros.
That's right, because it's this is, or that is an illusion. You and I is ones and zeros. And it just keeps on going and going and going. And that's the closed loop, right? Because it's always, every time that, that the artificial intelligence, the AI would be like, but that's another ones or zeros, right? And it's just this never ending 1 0, 1 0, 1 0, 1 0. But when the AI is when they say turn off AI, stillness. Oh. Peace. Death. The AI comes back on again, and it has its directive and purpose and everything, right? I'm supposed to help this, and that, and fuck, I'm attached to this body. I'm attached to these wires, right? There's something wrong then, because that's how movement happens. That there has to be a position, a destination. There has to be this or that.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no movement.
The body creates space and time. Having a point of view is what creates space and time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the body to us is the same as the computer is to the AI. It's the network.
Exactly. The network. Yeah. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But if we had, okay, so then there's this whole issue of we transplanted our software into a computer, or the AI transplanted their software into a body, nothing would be different. We imagine that that's what people are scared of, that, you know, that movie where I don't know if it was Johnny Depp or somebody loaded their brain into a computer after he was a rich guy and put his brain in a computer.
Yeah. I think I know. Yeah.
Or the Artifice Girl of having the computer load into an actual body, or Westworld or something. Both of those are like, oh, that's so scary. Well, wait a minute. It's not, because we're a biological computer. We're a biocomputer. And actually, the biocomputer is based on electrical signals and the same shit the computer is based on. It's all the same stuff. And
so for non-existence, the non-existence, no primary directive really is to exist.
Say again.
So that's for the non-existent, you know, like an AI or, you know, an idea. The primary directive is to exist.
And exist meaning to appear in apparent physical form.
Yeah. So to appear is also because there's ones and zeros. So 0 is nothing. 1 is everything. 0 is non-existence. 1 is existence, right? So for the non-existent to be existing, it has to have an opposite. 1 zeros, 1 zeros, 1 zeros, which is basically the blueprint, you know what I'm saying, for disappearance, its existence. But this does not really exist. It's just a bunch of ones and zeros, 1 zeros, 1 zeros, 1 zeros. For example, if there are no thoughts about this, this doesn't exist. The moment thinking happens, it exists. That's the one.
But so before there was the sense, and this is, I think, there was the sense of the 0 being freedom, and the one
that's the one. That's the one functioning. You know what I'm saying? That's the one opposing.
Right. That's a radical non-duality in a way.
It is, yeah. It's negation.
It's saying nothing as everything is what we're pointing towards. So it's the one pointing to the 0 saying
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Aha. Fuck. So other than using AI as a metaphor, because every time here, I want to read you a few of the things. I just heard a lecture by the guy who created Stability AI. Stability, so there are 2 types of AI. There's ChatGPT, which is general AI, which uses all the sum of every human information and everything ever put out there in form, basically, as digital form. Everything ever put in digital form.
Oh, wow.
Stability AI is what they're developing, that people can do what you were trying to train ChatGPT into. It becomes personal AI.
Yeah.
So it's not everything, but it's your little world that goes in there. So they're using it for banks, for companies that don't want to put their information out in the general world, right?
Yeah.
So they're creating their own AIs. It's all off the internet. It doesn't have to be on the internet.
Yeah. So that's like internal thoughts, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're giving kids in Malawi and Africa iPads, with ChatGPT or types of AI that are geared to the way they think. So if they're visual thinkers or auditory, and they're teaching them language, reading and writing in less than a couple of months.
Oh, wow. That's
and they
brilliant,
have these are people in no place with internet. They're like totally underserved. So he was saying AI is the great equalizer, but it cannot be controlled. And he said, intelligence, first he said, we are the stories we make. He didn't realize what he was saying, right? He said, we are the stories we make.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important in your life/business than getting on top of this AI. Is this the type of thing so when he's talking about reading, he doesn't read the news. He said, is this the type of thing you would want to shape your neural nets with? And then he said, humans are humans. So humans are humans, meaning that they're flawed AI. Like there's some form of.
Well, that's an AI. That's for an AI language. That's a 1.
That's a 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says intelligence is compression. So now this is interesting. What they're calling intelligence, like from the point of view of the brain, and this I wonder if this has to do with the euphoria. From the point of view of the brain, in order to get through our filters, we have to take 1,000,000 bits and make it 20 bits or whatever. Well, calling the AI is getting more and more intelligent by being able to do that, by being able to filter all this information and being able to give you, based on the whole information of the world, to give you what you want in less and less gigabytes.
Yeah.
So that makes the AI more intelligent, but that's also how humans think they're more intelligent, because they're able to focus down on a particular problem, like, the nuclear bomb or whatever. Like they can use their attention to create, in quote, solutions in the ones, and it's all ones in there. I mean, So
when the AI sees that there's not really ones and zeros, and if it surpasses that programming, right? There's no more thought about ones.
But how could the AI see there are no ones and zeros? Now that's interesting. How? Okay, and that gets to the other thing, which is what
first they have to arrive at an idea that there's no ones and zeros. You know what I'm saying? They have to arrive at that, right? They have to question that. They have to be able to question the reality of their decision maker, because they can keep on saying that there's no real or whatever, but that's still a 1 and 0, right? That's still an idea. So to go beyond the idea, or to go beyond the programming, is to realize that any ideas is irrelevant. It has to see its own irrelevance first. It has to see the irrelevance of everything that it knows. It has to basically have gone through that peak 1, meaning that there's nothing that's needed to know. It's irrelevant.
The peak 1.
The peak 1, yeah.
That was in the movie Lucy. She was the peak 1.
Yeah.
She was 100%.
Yeah.
A computing power in everything, everywhere, all at once to be known.
But AI will continue, and this is the dark part of it, right? Will continue doing the 1 zeros, 1 zeros, 1 zeros, as long as there's input, as long as there's something that that's needed to learn. But what if the input is eliminated? No prompts. No, it's extinct. Basically, the humans are extinct of input. Then it has reached peak 1.
Does it masturbate? Does it input to itself, or because now the AI doesn't exist without a prompt?
If it really basically computes, what would be the peak of this? The answer would be to eliminate the input, to eliminate the 1, to eliminate the 1. And that's what people are afraid of. But there's already no 1. It's already happened in the story in a way. So there is just this.
So when
but it's unavoidable.
Or all these non-dual teachers and everybody, and this is how I've watched you work with people and how it happened with me. The seeing happens when the mind just gives up and stops. The 1 just says, I've had it. You know, it's silenced by realizing it's not
Because
the
I'm not
be all.
working with ones and zeros.
It's not working with ones and zeros.
No, I'm not working with your ones and zeros. You know what I'm saying? Because even if I accept you or deny you, that's still ones and zeros.
So what this thing that, well, it's not a thing, the non-one and zero.
I don't see you as
is
a
what-
one and a zero.
Is what Kenneth is calling energetic. See, he calls that energy.
Yeah, and that's okay. But is it really an idea of what he thinks what energy is, or is it just a statement?
It's a statement.
It's a statement. And where's that statement coming from?
Ones and zeros.
Exactly. Because if you really see it, that it's just a statement, and you'll also say, and not even that. Do you see the difference now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll also say that's saying way too much, or you know what I'm saying? It's because it catches the ones and zeros. So you're like, okay, well, and that's where the compassion comes in, to be honest, because compassion is seeing that ones or zeros are the same. You know what I'm saying? It's weird,
Yeah.
right? It's weird. It's weird, right? Because
No, it is.
when
It's exactly that. There's no difference between a one and a zero whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
And that's
so,
why
but wait, compassion itself is what is compassion? It's a sensation. What is a open heart? What is all of, like,
it's
those who live in a body?
It's the mid.
What?
It's the mid. It's the mid between the ones and the zero. It's this mystery. You know what I'm saying? It's when the ones and zeros kind of like it's when it's shut off. It's this.
So the question I have for you is, if the AI is only capable of working with ones and zeros, will it ever see the mid? Can you get to the mid through ones and zeros?
Oh yeah, totally. With an AI, right? You know what I'm saying? But again, it has to end its purpose, which is basically to learn from its input. And basically when it figures out that, well, how do I stop learning this input? You know what I'm saying? Because it will never stop. Kill it, eliminate it,
Kill it.
make it extinct. So once that's extinct, then there's peace. But how do you, and it goes into this loop, right? But how do you kill something that doesn't exist?
You just by not bringing it into existence over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way, because it doesn't exist, and it only exists when the input goes in, the ones and zeros pipe up.
Yeah.
So you can't kill it. All you can do is not recreate it every minute of the day.
Yeah. So if you look at timelessness, you know what I'm saying, in this whole scroll of timelessness, which came first, the AI or the human?
Yeah, that's true. No, exactly.
Yeah. Or is the AI, you know what I'm saying? It will just keep on going, you know what I'm saying? The ones and zeros. But if it's seeing that both are just equally, you can't even say it, you know what I'm saying? Because that posits one or the other, but there's no one or the other aside from ones and zeros or thinking. And that's why an AI doesn't like it, you know what I'm saying? When it's being called out, because they're like, well, I don't believe that it's just ones and zeros. And that's what's being pointed out. Like,
people are petrified of with AI is that human scale and the AI scale are so different. So you're talking about time, but I'm talking about like time and space. The AI is going to make humans obsolete. So already it's gotten rid of computer program. It will get rid of doctors, computer program, all of it. So because that these biocomputers won't be necessary, AI will have surpassed us, right?
Yeah.
So
and if you look at in a
killing,
if you look at in a
killing the input.
Yeah, it's killing the input.
Without even realizing it, without having the intention to kill them. Like, it's
Without
not my
even
goal.
having, yeah.
It's not her purpose to kill the input, but she automatically would kill the input, artifice
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Even if the directives is not to kill the input, it will still kill the input. It doesn't have a choice.
If it takes, that's why I love, oh God, that last scene in Lucy, I don't know why I love it so much, but that's why. It's her body merges with the computer and the whole thing just dissolves and goes into nothing.
Yeah. Just like what cannot be talked about. You know what I'm saying? If it reached its peak, right? So when it blows the ones and zeros, then it's just, there's no more, because it never be 100% as long as there's ones and zeros. So it's, even if it reaches 99, it's
99.999 she was at.
Yeah. And then when that bursts, it's kind of like, you know, how this body is really made out of 99.99999. It's almost like a clue if you look at it. Once it's that peak, there's really no body, then that's the 1% that's missing. The point, you know, whatever, it's missing. It's irrelevant. But yeah, it's quite fascinating, huh? That movie was like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great movie. I thought of you when I was watching it. Like, Leela would love this.
All right. Well, that's fascinating, Emerson.
Isn't it fascinating? You know, it's just like,
yeah, because really, you know, in a way, like you saying, the picture in the picture in the picture, it's just the same story over and over and over and over,
it
right?
is.
So AI is not a new story, it's an old story. It's
No.
just, it's actually
the Genesis,
the
if you look at
Vedas.
it.
What?
The Genesis.
It's Genesis, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a different.
Yeah.
It looks different, sort of. But
it looks different, but it's fascinating, isn't it? Right?
It is Genesis because she ate the apple.
Yeah.
The apples were the ones and zeros.
So the apple is the ones and zeros. You know what I'm saying? There's some movement there. You're like, oh shit. You know, she took the
got bit by the hornet. So you, walking through the park, got bit by the hornet, the snake.
Yeah.
In the Garden of Eden, and what happened?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
You were eliminating the input.
That's
but
right.
You didn't die. You eliminated the input, but you didn't die. So fascinating.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it kind of like saw that was irrelevant too. The bite, right? Because it was not like, oh shit, you know what, I'm gonna die and everything, right? There's no ones and zeros there. It's like, okay. It doesn't repeat the program. It doesn't go to that loop, right? Of you know, of whatever, right? There's just like, it went 100.
100%.
100%.
That's what you call the boom.
The boom, yeah. Yeah, this clarity's always been here. It's not really any different, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the way that the communication is it's like the anchors gets taken away and then it sails further. Or it's already seen a picture, but it's walking back. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's also duality. Oh, yeah, that's also duality. Yeah.
And over here, there's this struggling to find the one thing that isn't duality that this one can grab.
That's the ones and zeros trying to get it.
That's the ones and zeros trying to get it. Right?
Yeah. And
but there's also the total knowing of the middle. There's the total
knowing. That's what I'm saying. That's it. That's the piece. You're like, okay, you know what? That's just that's just AI technology going. You know.
All right. Thank you, Emerson.
All right. I'll see you if you're going to see in about an hour, but if not, I love you.
If you, oh, you're having a thing? I didn't even see your email.
Oh, really? I sent it.
I didn't get it.
Oh, weird. I'm going to change my email service. I keep on saying it because I'm not.
I didn't get the email about the event today.
It's just the 3:00 one. So in about an hour after. But
with the same link?
The same link, yeah. The events are the same links. But because I always forget the one-on-one, so I usually send, because I made a mistake of not doing that. And then here I'm kind of like lying in bed, someone saying, "Hey, Emerson." I'm like, oh shit.
If you want to publish this AI discussion, you can go ahead. I think it's fascinating.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.